Hey crafty people, let's put a card together. So I'm starting with my craft 6x6 card topper, and let's get going. So many of you have asked for me to put a card together on camera. So I've cut this piece to fit just ever so slightly inside. It looks like I need to take just a little bit more off on that edge. Thought I was prepared. But what happens when we think we're prepared? We're usually not. So let me take a little sliver off of there, and then that's gonna fit. Okay, that'll work. So I'm going to I use fabric tack, Beacon fabric tack, and that's because that does not wrinkle your paper. Almost no matter how much you put, but I don't put a whole lot. I just need paper to stick, and it doesn't take much glue to make paper stick. Okay. So then I cut my next piece of paper to slightly fit inside there. Only we're going to go ahead and distress the edges, and I use the Tim Holtz distress tool. I like to distress it really good, because this is going to be a Shabby Chic set of cards. And you really want it to be crinkly, and you know, don't worry about whether it gets messed up. You want it to look shabby chic, so let it be, you know, bent up and everything. No worries. It looks more shabby chic that way. All right. Then I've got another piece that I cut that I want to kind of have cattywampus at an angle. So we're going to distress this one. And sometimes when you have after you have your first piece of design paper, you know, if you want to tear a little bit more off of your next layer, it's a really nice distressed look. So we're going to glue this one on a little bit crooked. Took me a while when I started doing this style to be able to do that kind of messy. I like real symmetrical stuff. So sometimes it's a struggle for me. So I have this piece of lace, and I'm going to cut it because it's not wide enough for what I want to do. So I'm going to glue, real light layer of glue. And then I'm going to leave just that small gap, because that's really all I need, I think. And this is a nice thing about fabric tack. It's very forgiving and lets you pull up stuff. Okay, that's better. So this piece was just a scrap piece I had left over from something. And so it was already torn. We're going to dress it up some more. And then we're going to layer it across the middle like that. And I'm going to put my glue right on my paper. And I want it to hang over the edge of my my topper. So then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the lace that hangs out past that piece of paper. Because I like it that way. If you want it to hang over, let it hang over. It's cool. And this piece is hanging over a little bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see what we're going to do here. I've got this piece of lace and this piece of paper. Maybe I'll cut this piece down just a little bit. Yep, I like that better. All right, I'm going to glue this lace. And if you want, you can just take your finger and smooth that glue out, but I'm going to do it like that. And I'm going to let this hang over a little bit over the edge. I might trim a little bit off. But I do like it when it hangs over a little bit. To me, it looks more shabby, more like it was just kind of thrown on there. So let's just dress this last layer of paper. Okay, let's do it like this. And again, if you want to, you know, tear a little notch out, you can do that. I don't like it to look real curved looking, so I'm trying to let's see. There we go. Now it doesn't look like just a big U. A V. All right. So we're gonna layer like that. And I usually don't put my glue all the way up to the edge of the paper. And the reason is because I like it better when you see how the papers aren't stuck all the way perfectly flat. It looks more dimensional and more shabby. All right, so that's our card base. Now here's where I'm not fully prepared, and you're gonna see me go, what am I gonna do? So this is the sentiment I want to use. It says, one small voice can penetrate the heavens. And this sentiment could be for, it could be a sympathy card. It could be an encouragement card. It seemed like there was one more it could be. But I decided to use this piece from Prima, and it's stairs. So to me, it's like the stairway to heaven. And of course, we have heaven in our sentiment. So it's a long sentiment. And I'm trying to decide. I need something really tiny. I'm going to try this. I think this is, yeah, I didn't leave enough room. Well, it's still, I'll curve that paper a little bit. This side, I think, has a little bit more paper. I know I want it to go like this, but let's see. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, then I have this little tag that came with the paper collection, which, just so you know, is, I think it's Kaisercraft P.S. I Love You. And it's kind of a Valentine-y sort of collection as far as sentiments go. Valentine and love. But I'm using it in different ways, so you can see a lot of collections. Okay. So I want to use this, but I want this little tag to hang out underneath. So let's see how we're going to do this. I'm going to use a little bit of fun foam. So here's my fun foam. Here's my big piece of fun foam. And I'm going to cut 2 smaller pieces. And so I want this down and this up. So I'm going to put a piece of fun foam here. Hot glue would be good. I really like to use hot glue on most of my cards. I do use the fabric tack like I showed you, but then when I'm doing embellishments and stuff like that, I will use hot glue. And you don't have to put the fun foam, or you could use, you know, pop dots or whatever. I use the fun foam because it's a lot cheaper and then the hot glue. It's a lot cheaper than using those glue dots or the double-sided stuff. Alright, so I want it to bend like that. So I'm going to put a drop of glue, hot glue on my fun foam, and stick it where I want my sentiment to start. And then I can bend my sentiment, and I'm going to put hot glue on my fun foam again, and I'm going to leave it in that whatever bent position or curved position that I choose. And that's how you do that style with your sentiment. And the reason I like to put the fun foam is it gives more strength, and it even pops the whole sentiment where it is flat off of the card. So, let's see, is that going to work now? No, it's not. So I'll put this, I'm going to put the stairs here, and I'm going to put the tag there. And I think I'm going to get some twine and make a bow. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. And I'm just using hot glue. I know some people don't like, ooh, what, the hot glue on my finger? Do not get hot glue on your finger. It's just not pleasant. Okay, so there's that. Let me go find the twine. Here is my pink twine. You can buy this stuff in the, kind of like the, what do you call it, the knitting area at the craft store. So I just cut a big piece, and then I, you know, fold it over and cut it and cut it and cut it until it's what I want. Alright, that's probably going to be good. Or maybe one more cut. This could be a mistake, folks. Could make it too short. We'll see. I think it did. I think it made it too short. Let me do less. Okay, forget it. I'm just going to cut another piece. See how it goes? It does not always go perfectly. Even for those of us that do this every day. And I have some other things planned for today. I am excited. Just going to show you to get going on this. Yes, that's all I'm going to show you. And I apologize for my nails. I'm just now seeing that they're kind of gross. I did a little bit of gardening yesterday and didn't look like I got all the dirt out from under my nails. Because I know somebody will be like, ugh. Somebody will give me a thumbs down because my nails are yucky. Okay. So I don't like all my little tails to my twine to be the same length. Am I going to do this to the side? No. I want that straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and I like to spread out my loops. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue that to my tag with my hot glue. And that's what it looks like. Let's see, I need to pop that up. It is not going to look right if it's flat. So I'm going to take some more fun foam. And I'm just going to add it right to the back of that. And I don't want to cover up my word 1. I think I'm going to put one more layer of fun foam. Gosh, guys, I'm not digging how that looks. And I certainly don't like it up top. Let's see. Let me push it through. Do we like it like that? I'm not sure. No, we're going to do it right there. Right here. All right. And one thing I didn't do that I probably should have is bring some flowers. I usually don't layer pearls on a card like this, but I just thought, well, let's have a look. No, let's not do that. Let's look here. I just brought a few things over. I want to use one of these little blingy hearts on the middle of my bow. And even though it has sticky stuff on it, I like to add some hot glue to make sure it stays. I'd really like to use these. I've got this out here. Let me see how this one looks. Okay, guys, so I just took this out. And what I'm thinking is this would make a great shaker. It's huge, but it would still make a great shaker. And I'm going to hang on to that. All right. Let's see, we've got these. These look like they would be better. So let's add these. You know what? It feels like I hate these ones that are really flimsy. Ugh, I super hate these flimsy ones, really. I feels like it should be time for a local scrapbook expo. I need to check when my local scrapbook expo is, because that's where I got these. So I'm going to make this come from behind here. And it's okay if it's hanging off a little bit. See how it's hanging off right there? That's okay. And I want some more. So we'll frustrate ourselves some more with no, these flimsy ones got to go. And I haven't added any flowers yet, but I will add flowers. And I'm sorry that these things are sticking together, and now it's going to take me time to peel them apart. But let me see. Ugh. I guess that's why these things, sometimes they're cheaper, is because they're going to give you fits. All right. Do we go up this way? Yeah, let's go. Or let's come out again from under here. Oh, that one's going to be sticking out too much. This is the process, guys. You wanted to see this. All right, let's make it come from underneath. Underneath there. So it kind of looks like it goes underneath this paper and then comes out this side. So I kind of like that. And let's just go ahead and use the rest of this frustrating thing. This annoying, frustrating thing. But it really gives a nice look. Nice look to your card. And I honestly don't use these very often, but yesterday I was kind of looking around my craft room and I was like, oh, haven't used those in a long time. You know what? I don't like that. That's just too much. So I'm gonna rip it. And the cool thing is if you do something like this and you take something off and it kind of messes up your paper a little bit, it's okay. Because it's a Shabby Chic project and it's fine. And you can always just cover it up if you want to. Let's see, maybe we'll add. Yeah, let's do that. Or, since we have a heart in the middle of our bow, let's do this. You know, we may not even need any flowers on this, or maybe just very few. I got some of these out here. We may just need two there, and maybe add a couple right there. What do you think? I think that works really good. You know, a lot of times with these type of cards, and I don't do these type of cards very often without an image, but I really wanted to, and they don't require as many flowers. And honestly, the expense of this piece right here, I mean, that's kind of our focal right there. So look how pretty that card is. And now we're going to add a border, and you don't even have to, but I'm just like that. I have to add a border. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to add a layer of our glue. And so many people have asked me, how does the back look? And I'm going to stretch this out so that I get as much use out of this as possible. I'm going to really push that down, make sure it gets stuck. And you want to put a piece of glue on top of that, because you're going to fold it over that piece. And again, pull it tight so you're not wasting. Okay, so this is can be what happens sometimes if you don't glue quickly enough. Okay. I got a piece of my hair stuck in there. We don't want to glue that to the card. Now we're going to cut that excess. Now we need a little tiny piece of glue right there. And now look at this card. Look at that, how that border just gives it that lovely soft look. And you can even trim that if you want. Let's trim it just trim it just a little bit. And you can even trim it messy. And that will give it even more of a shabby look. Because it does seem a little bit too wide. And I just love the idea of kind of cutting it messy. Okay, there we go. All right, that's our topper. I'll be back and we'll do the whole rest of the piece. Okay, let's get going on the final part of our card. And what I have here on the base, so we started out with this 6x6 card topper. That's what the back looks like. So it's 6x6. And then this is a 6x12, scored at 6 and at 9. And you bend it like that. And that's how you apply your card topper here. And that's how you end up with your easel. But I usually will go ahead and embellish this part before I adhere my topper. So just like we did with the topper, we have the craft piece and then we have a pink piece. So here we go with our pink piece. And it doesn't really matter that it doesn't meet all the way at the top, because I like to use my scraps, because cutting a whole nother piece, you know, a piece of this cardstock, you know, costs 79 cents. You don't want to like cut a whole nother sheet just because you got, you know, a ½ an inch there, because that part's going to get covered up with the easel. So I cut a piece that's the same as this background piece here. And we're going to just distress all of that. I guess I could have done that before because you see me distress earlier. I'm sorry. Glue that down, and if I didn't say, you want to cut this piece 1/4 of an inch smaller than, so every time you're going to go in, you want to cut 1/4 of an inch. So we've got 6x6 here, so then we're going to go 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then 5 1/2. Unless you don't meet up at the top, you know what I mean. So then, when I cut this piece here, I had this piece left. So we're going to distress this piece. And this is going to border where we can write our personal sentiment. And again, see, I tore that. Doesn't matter. You're going for that distressed look. So if you tear it, it's just fine. So again, I don't put my glue all the way up to the edge. And see, I really like how that looks torn. But you want to make sure you have the same amount of room on each side there. And I did distress the edges of my sentiment a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and distress a little bit this where we'll write our personal sentiment. If I hadn't distressed that, I would leave this piece undistressed, just so that they would match. And I'm not going to distress it as much. And then I'm going to glue that down right there. See how pretty that looks? I just love it. And then we're going to do a real simple layer of pearls, and that's going to be at about the 3-inch mark. So that there's still 3 inches here, and then 3 inches here. And I always use hot glue for this part. People have asked me before, how do you get the pearls to stick? The hot glue is how that comes about. And you want to pull that taut and hold it there for maybe 10 seconds. You be sure it's straight. And let's glue our card topper. And you want to get this part like pretty good. So that's how much glue I have. And you want to make sure it meets. Push it on there. And sometimes I'll like bend this back piece, just not completely, but I'll just kind of bend it in so it wants to let this piece, the topper, really sit nicely. So there you go. And there's our card. Now I did notice a little bit that I really probably wanted to add some butterflies. So what I did, I like to use, when Kaiser Craft gives you these little pictures of what the papers are inside, I use that. So you can see that I punched here, and I've punched here, and I've punched here. So don't hesitate to use that stuff. It will save your paper. So I punched a couple of these and a couple of these. I'm just going to hot glue them together. And of course, they're not cooperating. To hold them for a second. All right, let's. Okay, and then I bend them so they're like that. Let's do this one. So now I got that one. That's not cooperating. All right. Now we'll add a little bit of pearls, and I just cut these, and I usually cut it to where there's 3. And I'll just put a dab of glue in the center, and then I just drop my pearls in there so one pearl hangs off. Like that. And this card does seem a little bit busy on the front, so I'm gonna pop it up like this, and I think I'm gonna put these on the sentiment area. And yes, you can embellish your sentiment area. Why not? All right, that's our whole card. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it gave you some ideas, and I'll be doing some more videos like this. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.